Guys, NIO CEO said, wait 10 years. What? What's going on with that? Also, we got an official response from NIO's president, all right, Qin Hong, about the tariffs as well, and also the recent sales performance of NIO. So let's start off with that. So NIO has actually 55% of all sales comes from the Yangtze River Delta region, which is around Shanghai. And apparently NIO's sales in Shanghai, the ES6 sales, are already double that of BMW X3 in Shanghai.
Why do we sell well in the Yangtze River Delta region? The Yangtze River Delta sales make up 55% of our overall sales. In Shanghai, for instance, our sales for the ES6 are already twice that of the BMW X3,
right? It has now become mainstream, the major force.
So NIO is getting massive success around the financial capital of China, which is the Shanghai Yangtze River Delta region. And this also really reflects the intellect IQ of a lot of people. And I don't want to say like people in the rest of China are stupid. They're not. But we could say that the people that live around Shanghai, they're more financially literate. They're more smart. I guess they're more intellectually capable, and they understand, they can comprehend the benefits of battery swap, etc. And so they're more accepting towards a car brand like NIO. Hence, 55% of NIO's sales comes from that region. Whereas in rural cities, there's still a lot of gasoline sellers and people that don't understand why the hell would you buy an EV, that kind of stuff still going on. So there's definitely room for massive growth in those areas, but that does mean you have to do a lot of educational stuff to really teach them and change their minds about all this kind of stereotype towards EVs. In those rural cities, rural regions, ERVs, they do sell more than NIO, so it's all right. But in Shanghai, NIO sells way more than Li Auto or any other EREV brands out there, okay? So this is a big, important takeaway. Now on to the tariff thing. The president of NIO, Qin Hong, said that the tariff's definitely not a good thing, all right? They're not very happy with this, but he said this really reflects something else. It reflects that these guys, the European automakers, are worried. It reflects that they are concerned that their products cannot beat these Chinese products. It shows them admitting defeat, all right, the EU automakers admitting defeat, that the Chinese automakers like NIO are much better, and especially for NIO, much better than those BBA guys or even those other automakers out there in Europe. So it reflects this kind of fear that they have towards Chinese EV. It just also shows that NIOs are so damn good. So he's trying to spin this in a very positive way, which I do agree with, okay?
China is now leading the world in the high-level competition of new energy vehicles. We are in the center of the storm. The recent tariffs may also be politicized, but I think it may also be a manifestation of feng shui rotation. Because tariffs, even if used as a weapon, it is also a manifestation of the relatively lagging development of other places, using the normal trade of new energy vehicles as a bargaining chip to play international politics. Because new energy cars are related to the welfare of individuals, it is also related to the environmental protection, low carbon, and sustainable development of the whole society.
What about this whole entire thing about waiting 10 years? So the CEO just said this, wait 10 years, what the hell? So it was quite recent, all right, just yesterday. He talked about how in his eyes, success, his version of success is 10 years away, okay? 10 to 20 years away. And he said that in 10 to 20 years, that's when you can have a solid footing in the automobile race. Because what we're seeing is a lot of other companies, you know, they're doing well, but they might just do well and then they fall off. Great example, Weltmeister. Back in 2020, 2021, they sold so well. Number one in sales. 2023, they're gone. All right. So his idea of success, 10 to 20 years away, his picture of success. There's still a lot of things to do, and he believes that in 10 years' time, in terms of the top 10 automakers around the world, 5 of them will be Chinese, and amongst the 5, hopefully NIO is one of them. And he's really working hard for that long-term success. Okay, so long-term success. And he also said that they are going to be aiming for 100,000 swap stations in the next 10 to 20 years. 100,000 swap stations. And he wants to have more swap stations than gasoline stations. Well, at least equal amounts. The big highlight is, of course, energy storage. And he's seeing this more as an energy storage solution and then as a energy replenishment method for cars. Energy storage first. So here, listen to what he had to say.
I think time-wise for my definition of success, or rather, truly make a name for yourself in this industry, I think at least another 20 years are needed. Truthfully, this is the transition period, 10 years. This year marks our 10th year, but the next 10 years might determine the true hierarchy of the industry.
There will ultimately be more than 100,000 swap stations. Now, in China, there are 100,000 gas stations, and the cost of me building 100,000 swap stations are much lower than 100,000 gas stations, far lower. I can store almost 20,000 kilowatt hours every day. With 100,000 swap stations, I can store 20 billion kilowatt hours every day, right? Therefore, it becomes a huge energy storage infrastructure.
So, of course, the big opportunity is energy storage. Even Tesla's building these mega packs. And in Shanghai, they extended their gigafactory in Shanghai to build these mega packs for energy storage. So clearly, energy storage is the way to go. But Tesla's building a separate solution for it, whereas NIO's solution is all in one, right? And much more eco-friendly in terms of amount of space used, right? It's much more compact and much more utility to it than just energy storage, right? You got battery swap, and then also you got coffee and all sorts of other services in the space of just 3 to 4 parking spots. Whereas Tesla, if they want to achieve that thing, they got to have like charging stations and also mega packs around, and it's going to really take up a lot more space and maybe even more cost compared to a swap station. So really, NIO's looking for the long term, and I think investors shouldn't really be worried about, oh my God, NIO's going to spend so much money building 100,000 swap stations. It's really about everybody collectively building 100,000 swap stations. The partners, the energy companies as well. Zhongwan said they're going to build 1,000 swap stations, so there is 1% of that already finished, already accounted for. Of course, NIO's going to build a lot of those swap stations as well, but also these other big automobile brands, they can also join in and build those swap stations, which they will do eventually. So not to be too concerned about long-term cost of swap station deployment. Don't be too worried about that. But in his eye of success, they're still investing heavily into the future, and it just means that there's still a lot of time for us shareholders to buy more NIO stock. Okay, it took Tesla 14 years to turn a profit. Okay, that's it might take NIO a similar amount of time. Okay, and NIO right now is only 10 years old, founded in 2014. So maybe add 4 years to that, maybe we might see profits coming in the next couple years. All right, and definitely with the launch of Envo, launch of Alps, a whole more broader range of products at every single price category with good margin, right? And R&D self-developed stuff that really boosts margins and lower costs. Definitely we're going to see profitability very soon, all right, in the next 3 or 4 years, and we're going to see big success in 10 years, 10 to 20 years. Profitability, 3 to 4, big, massive success, 10 years. NIO stock, $650 a share, 10 years. We'll have to see. All right, we'll have to see. Stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.